Have you ever thought about using trading bots? I used Bitsgap in the last bull market and turned $1,000 into $50,000 within a 5-month period. I documented the whole process and put it in a playlist if you want to see that, along with other training videos and tutorials how to set bots up and make the most of the volatility of the crypto market. If you sign up with a link in the description, you'll get a 7 days free trial with no obligation to continue, and you can also use a demo account within Bitsgap so you don't have to risk your own capital. Bitsgap! Hello everybody, welcome back. Going to have a quick look at Vechain again. I made a video about this about 10 days ago saying I'm interested in buying it later on down the line. I think at the time that I was making the video it was around about 4 cents or thereabouts, and I had some noob masters telling me, oh, if you want it you should just buy it, but I was like, nah, it's coming down the market, looks like it wants to come down, that's no secret. I've made it pretty clear that that's the general position of basically the world and all the markets within it, and so Vechain's not going to escape that. But it has just come down to yesterday a first major area of support being a 200 simple moving average, which is sitting around 3.3 cents, which is quite close to my intended target, which is basically this golden cross on this weekly, which is 3 cents. So, I mean, if the rest of the world looked a little bit better than it does right now, I probably would have took that trade. If you're in my Telegram, you would have seen I did take a very short and swift 20% futures trade on it, in and out. That's nothing. It's just a futures trade, really. And if you're looking to buy this long term, the first major area since we've lost this 20 weekly and the 21 exponential on the weekly is going to be down here. There's not that many altcoins which even have these setups in the first place. So just staring at what we're seeing right now, just zooming out, what we see, there was an accumulation. There's a lot of coins like this. I'll tell you another one that was like this. It obviously broke out was Chainlink, which I'm a massive hodl on that one, really, since we spent so long down in this accumulation zone. I never really looked at Vechain throughout this process. This is kind of relatively new to me to try and chart this out, but I've kind of fallen in love with the chart, really. I see really good potential of growth, probably up to its previous candle body highs, around 25 cents, maybe even more. So obviously that's decent gains, really, if we're talking a 12 to 18 month period. But still, we haven't got to this level. So let's digest a little bit more price action as we're updated on this. It doesn't look good, unfortunately. Well, it depends on your interpretation. Obviously, I think down is good because I'm holding mostly like a disproportionate amount of dollars than anything else. So I've got plenty of capital to throw back into the market, and it really is about like finding the right time. Now, I love looking at altcoins and I love looking at altcoin charts, but I can't get away from the fact that the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones all want to consolidate, oil and Dixie wants to go up, and that's normally a recipe for disaster and further downside. So if we're already intending on buying this dip down here, which, if we were to measure it out just to give it a little bit more context, that's another 12.5% move from the current price of where we are right now. So we're sitting around 3.5 cents, so another 12.5% down to that target. That would be my first dollar cost average into Vechain, and I'm not naive. I don't think that that's going to be the one that's going to hold. It could hold, it may not hold, who knows. This is the point of dollar cost averaging. Below that, though, we have a 20 monthly moving average sitting here at just above 2.5 cents, we'll call it 2.6, which again is not an enormous increment further down. That's a 25, almost 26% move down from where we're at right now, which again, I would allocate more to it at that particular level, because, if you're looking to buy it long term, and I say long term, it's not that long, is it really? We're talking a 12 to 18 month period before, the price reaches roughly its full potential, or you want to start getting out of it. So it's not an enormous amount of time. It's not like buying into the S&P or holding bonds or whatever you do for 5-10 years or whatever. You're honestly just really thinking about quite a short-term time frame trade. It might not be in and out like we do when we buy the dip and sell the rip on a day-to-day, weekly basis. But it's still quite short-term to realise what looks to me like several 100% gainers. And if you're going to complain about that, that's a first world problem, really. So just a bit of an update really as to what's going on with it. We've not quite hit the target, we're getting closer to the target. There isn't really any redeeming factors on this chart right now. We're coming into supports, definitely, you know, the 200 exponential golden cross retest here on the 3-day. Again, you know, on a normal day in a bullish market, I would look at that as a really good opportunity to buy in, but personally I prefer the higher term time frame being the weekly for my golden cross, and that's sitting around just around 3 cents. It's also a nice round number for Captain Noobmaster to remember. Now, I bought at 3 cents, I'll get out at 30 cents. That's 1,000%. It's just easy for him to remember that, but you know, sometimes Noobmaster can be your best friend. So I'm looking at that as my first major entry point. Second is going to be down at around 2.6 cents, and anything lower than that, all the way down to the accumulation zone bottom, which is 1.4 cent. Still good, for picking up long term, I would say. But that is that. If you've got more charts you want me to look at, leave descriptions of those charts with the correct tickers in the comments, and I'll have a look at those for you. Otherwise, hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.